Also meant to say to you, Gillian, if there was any, could have a wee look while you're on here, just a wee minute for me, because I can't do too many things at once, just to check that everybody did get the link for Facebook, just in case there's any last minute people pop them up on Facebook to say that they didn't get the message. That would be deeply grateful, because I know, Gillian, I sent you the link. It should show on the Facebook page, but just in case. Okay, so okay, 7 steps to spiritual marketing success. Now, what a lot of people don't think about in the coaching, healing and therapy industry, they don't often realise that marketing is, it's more than one element. There's quite a few elements to market, to reach your audience. And today, when we're doing a lot of our marketing online, it's completely different than what it was, say, 20 years ago, okay? And people are getting bombarded with a lot of fast feeds of information. So it's more important than ever that you stand out and that you use all the elements of a proper marketing campaign to reach your ideal clients, to reach your soul clients. Okay, so this is what this webinar is about. It's about making sure that you've got all the elements that help you stand out, and that's what makes it more successful. Okay, so the 7 steps to a spiritual marketing success. Now, why I'm saying spiritual, because most of you who know me know that that is the way I work, and I believe that more in this industry than ever, our clients want transparency, they want authenticity. Consumers today are fed up being misled, and they want to know the person behind the service. And when you're doing a service-based industry, you are the product and service in many ways. And the client wants to know you, because it's about you resonating with them resonating with you. So it's more important than ever that we're transparent and that we bring that into our marketing. So that is why I studied a lot of different elements about archetypal marketing, more spiritual marketing, where those in the holistic and spiritual industry it's almost like you're being more authentic, but you're more transparent, but you're also up-leveling your marketing so that it really still looks very professional. So the first thing that is very important in any marketing campaign, okay, is that obviously you know your product. But what I want you to think about is you are partly that product and service, okay? So in this industry, it's about you knowing your uniqueness. And say, for example, you're a healer or a teacher. There may be, say, for example, you're a Reiki healer, and there may be sort of 30 people in your local village that does the same as you. What is it about you that stands out? What makes you unique? What is about your life experience, your wisdom, all these things, okay? So you need to know you. And if you don't know you, you can come over quite unauthentic, or what happens is your marketing doesn't match you. And I'll explain a little bit more about that if I have time, and that's where I made a big mistake a long time ago, okay? So the second one is you need to know your ideal clients, and what I call soul clients. And what I mean is really know. I speak to a lot of coaches and therapists who really struggle with knowing, and they don't know their age, they don't know their sex, they don't even know the sort of challenges and the lifestyle. If you want to create a powerful marketing campaign, an effective marketing campaign, you really need to know your ideal client and your soul clients. You need to know elements about them. And the more that you know, and the more you have it niched down, the more successful your marketing campaign is, because what happens, it becomes laser focused, and that person recognises, that's me. Oh, that's what I need. That person is perfect for me. And where a lot of holistic businesses go wrong is they think they are there to cater for everyone and everything. And that's so wrong, because we're all, again, as I said, unique, and your clients are unique. And there's not lots of elements why they choose you, or why you can offer them the best type of service or product, whatever, okay? So 3, you need to know your ideal client's biggest challenges and the biggest pain points, particularly the ones that you can help them with. And it's not just for the product or service that you're offering, but it's also about how you engage in your market, how you relate to them, and how almost like you draw them in, okay? So if you can even, give them talk tips, or give them suggestions or support or ideas about their challenges or a new perception, you're pulling that client towards you, because they say, oh, that person gets me, or that person's want to help, that person understands or wants to support those pain points that I have, okay? 4, you've got to know where your clients hang out. And this is another kind of big common mistake. And I see a lot of therapists and coaches sometimes spend all their time hanging out holistic or spiritual therapy groups with lots of other therapists. And yeah, it's great to get the support and the ideas, but sometimes what happens is you're spending all the time with other therapists that are offering the same as you, but you're not actually going and spending time with your client, where your ideal client hangs out, okay? And that's physically and virtually, and we'll talk about that again, okay? You also have to know the solution that you're offering. And this is a major one with the therapist, because most people advertise their modality, their technique. So, if they've done the latest hypnotherapy technique or life coaching or therapy, they're selling the technique rather than the solution, okay? And clients just want to know that you can help them with blah. They just want you to know that they can get relief from blah. They just want to know that they can experience whatever, okay? So you have to know that solution, and the more, again, specific and the more that you can really back up what you offer, and clearly back up that you can offer this solution, that, it's almost like it spells directly. If anybody else has come in, sorry, if you could just mute yourself, that would be great. It's just sometimes there's a feedback. Okay? So again, you have to know what you're offering. Okay. Now 6, you have to be able to know and own your unique message. And again, every therapy business, no matter what you do, you have your own message, okay? Your message is unique to you, what you provide and what you offer, okay? And again, the more that's laser sharp and people understand what you're providing, not your title, not the technique, but that message, again, and usually it's related to what the solution. Now, sometimes when we're therapists and we do a lot of modalities, you think, I know, but I do so many things. My message is really unclear. Well, if that's how you feel, you're going to give that unclearness, that confusion out to your audience. So it's about looking at the modalities that you offer and see what the common theme is, and what is the biggest common theme. And again, I'm going to explain that a little bit more. The 7th one is you have to build up connection. You have to reach. You have to get to enough potential audience and be in front of enough an audience, and build up that connection with those audience, build a relationship up. And that is one of the ways then that you move your client from what we call a cold audience that don't really know you, to build up into what we call a warm client. Now, sometimes that can take a long time, again, because of the changes in the industry, and because more than ever there is more coaches, healers and therapists. Consumers are very confused, and depending on their experience too, they can be quite wary, because they may have went to a therapist, healer or coach who could promise them the world, or who didn't match up to what they thought they were getting. So at the end of the day, you have to build up that connection, particularly if it's something that's a vulnerability within that client. So let's look at your individuality, your uniqueness. Okay, sorry. Okay, so as I said before, the first thing is you need to know you, and you need to know your uniqueness and why you stand out, and what you've got different about you, okay? And that's the huge difference that you can have, no matter how many other people are doing the modalities that you offer. Clients, it's about resonance, and clients are attracted to certain elements. It may be our experience, it may be our wisdom, it may be a mixture of things, but you need to own that. And coaches, healers and therapists need to be authentic in their marketing, more than ever. You need to know and own your characteristics, your values, your experience, your ideas and your gifts. And as I said before, you are your brand. You are the service, you're the energy, the resonance. And your branding and marketing has to shine that. And what do I mean by that? Well, things like your colours. Sometimes people in the business choose colours just because they like the colour, or they think that that's the colour that they should choose. But a lot of times it's how your client will interpret that colour, what the experience that evokes in that client. So again, it's things like logos. A lot of times people overcomplicate logos, and they really like this fancy logo or whatever, but the logo might not actually represent you and what you do. And this is a big mistake I made. I spent most of my life, I've been studied in the field for 25 years. I dedicated most of my life to this field because of my own health issues. And I invested a lot of money, and particularly in stress management, and that's one of the things that I was well known for. But I had invested so much money, it was more down the corporate side. So I kept thinking that I had to go down the corporate side, and I promoted myself to the corporate side. And my marketing at that point there was a slight kind of well, obviously I was aiming at that market, so I thought I had to show up a certain way. And it was all wrong, because at the end of the day, I'm very soft. And my ideal audience was actually where I got work very, very easily. And it was the health and charity sector, and community and education sector. And it was more a softer, it was a community, it was very heart-based, very about caring for people, supporting people that were vulnerable. But my other marketing was very harsh, and I'm not harsh, so it didn't match up with me. So I was putting out a very confusing message. And when I started to study archetype in marketing about 5 or 6 years ago, the light bulb went on, and I realised that I had to start bringing in my softness, me, and own those elements of me in my marketing. Okay, so that is one of the most important things. As I said, too, you need to know your ideal clients, or what I call soul clients. Now, what I mean by you really need to know, you can't just hope that someone's your ideal client, or guess who's your ideal client. You need to know them. You need to know their sex, their age, elements about their lifestyle, maybe behaviour patterns, challenges. And the more that you really know them, the more successful that you can start tailoring your marketing and make that connection to them. And it's even things about how they spend or how they invest their income. What's their biggest priorities in their life, okay? If you're very vague, your marketing will be very vague. And it's about sometimes creating an avatar, and this is something that I have courses about, how to do all that, and to really help you identify and create this avatar of your client. okay? And then to work out your ideal client's biggest challenge, okay? And it's about you matching up. So, you know, there's no point, your ideal client is going to have a challenge or challenges that relate to things that you can help. So there may be elements in their life, there's some things that you can't help them with, but there'll be other things that you can, or you can give them support, okay? And that's when you know it's your ideal client, because there's a click. There's got to be a resonance in both levels, and the way things are evolving, it's becoming more apparent that many clients are not just coming on a very superficial level. There's a lot more going on. So you have to do your research. You have to know and understand your ideal clients, and you need to know the biggest pain points, their challenges, their difficulties, their daily stressors, okay? The things that really are bugbearers, because these are the things that, for example, if you're marketing on Facebook, well, you'll be able to engage them, okay? You'll be able to reel them in and engage them, because what people don't realise is that a person goes onto Facebook, someone's business page, Facebook, for less than 3 seconds usually, okay? Just like their website. So you have to do everything in your power to be able to grab their attention in many ways, so that more that you are offering things or giving them things that are related to challenges that they have, they're going to think, all right, okay, this person, oh, that's what I need. And they might not even know on a conscious level that they need you right away. It's just something they go, oh God, yeah, you know, and the penny drops. And that's part of the market today, because again, as I said, people are bombarded with fast feeds of information, a lot of confusion. So it's about certain elements all clicking in so that you can engage that client. And then you start to build your engagement, your connection, and your relationships through your products, your services, and of course your marketing. It's all about that know, like, and trust factor. Now, another element, as I said, you have to know where your ideal clients hang out. Research where your ideal clients hang out, physically and virtually. Right? A lot of people, you know, in their marketing waste a lot of time, energy, and money marketing to the wrong places, where they again hope that their clients are. Sometimes they get. Sometimes it's just that they don't have a clue, so they just follow what other people that they think are doing in the industry. And believe me, I've helped a lot of coaches, healers, and therapists. As I said, I've been self-employed. Now I'm in my 18th year. I used coaches, healers, and therapists for 25 years. So I was a big consumer. And most people are really struggling with their marketing. And more than ever, they have to up-level their marketing. So one of the biggest things that is they don't seem to know their ideal clients, so they don't even know when to hang out. So there's no point you hanging out in a place that you're unsure if your ideal client is there or not. Go to the places where they are. Think about the places locally. If you can get out there, you know, and meet people, or think about Facebook groups, other places where your ideal client hangs out, that's where you start building up that connection, okay? And again, even when you're in the process of your summits, in the process of starting to design products or whatever, or your services, you can start building up connection in groups as you're building even before your business, because what you're doing is you're building up a trust, okay? You're starting to get to know people and to understand their needs, because a lot of times, again, a lot of people presume a lot about their clients, and it's not about presuming, it's about knowing and really getting a feel for what people want, not what you think they want. Now, as I said, you have to know your unique solution, and it's about selling, or I know a lot of you struggle. I don't really like the selling element, okay? And it's a big thing a lot of people in the industry struggle with, but you have to market your solution. Again, so many people look at the technique, and that's very much the way training schools are taught, because they're trying to sell their modality and tell you that it does dit, dit, and dit. but the client doesn't really want to know the technique, unless they're maybe a therapist and they're interested, but that's not why people buy, okay? So it's about you marketing the solution that you're offering, the results, the relief you provide, not your title, not your technique, and not your qualifications before the solution. Now, I'm not saying that you don't bring that in. You can bring these things in, but you have to show them the solution first, or you're going to lose their interest. You have to do something that's going to engage them. So by you making it clear in the first part of your marketing that it's the problem that you're solving or helping them with, that's what's going to engage them, okay? Clients want results, they want effectiveness, and it's about, again, as I said, spiritual marketing is about being more transparent, and testimonials like Facebook reviews are great because they are obviously for someone who's put the time to do it. It's very visible, you can go and look, people can check the person has wrote it. So it is very transparent. So they're a great way to get reviews and get feedback and whatever, okay? Now, so it's not about just saying what you do, okay? That doesn't sell. And a lot of coaching, particularly in training schools, tell people just, to say this transforms your life, this does this. Clients don't really buy that unless you can prove it and you can demonstrate it. And sometimes a lot of words are used very faddy and overused. And what happens then? Consumers just go, ugh, because they see it over and over again, and it doesn't feel authentic, it doesn't feel real, okay? 6, know and own your unique message. So again, every business kind of has its message, has its greatest, what I would call, gift or uniqueness within, and the more that you know your message, and very much it's related sometimes to, the solution, or very often it's to the solution. So the more that your message is very clear, again, people get what you're offering, what you're providing them with as a solution. They're not confused, because again, if you use titles and techniques that are industry related to and techniques, it often doesn't mean anything to clients. And more than ever, there is such a growth in this industry that there is so many different techniques and modalities popping up. Again, it can be very confusing for the consumer. So your business needs a clear, consistent and effective message in your branding and marketing that stands out, okay? Your logo and your brand should be so simple a child understands it or recognises it, okay? Make it easy for potential clients to understand and remember what you offer, okay? So one of the reasons that I still use the logo that I do, even though obviously my main work was stress management, was teaching meditation and relaxation therapy. And I still use my logo because I was a long-term brand and I had built up an established business. So I still use it for the Spiritual Marketing Club, okay, just because of the simplicity of it and for people recognise because it's associated with my colours. But the more that you can keep your logo simple and clear, and your colours and your fonts and easy to recognise, and you repeat them in your visuals, it's like a pattern, a subconscious pattern that is getting deep into the unconscious or subconscious of your clients, so that basically it reminds them it's a security thing. The more you see something, the more it kind of goes deeper and people remember you, okay, and you be consistent. If you don't have a clear message and it's vague what you're offering, or you don't stand out, you'll not be remembered, okay? So 7, obviously all these elements, you then have to reach enough audience. And again, this is a big thing. I see a lot of people, particularly when they've not been in business before, or if they came from a service-related industry, okay, they sometimes don't understand the elements of business and marketing and what they have to invest to get the results, okay, and how many people they have to reach. They don't understand those elements. And what I'm always surprised in, it's, when I do my surveys, I'm going to be honest about this, sometimes it frustrates me because I see people saying they don't put, they They have no budget for the market. And I know how hard it can be financially sometimes. I've been someone who's lived with very serious chronic health challenges for a long time. All my income had to go in my health. I was always on my own. And even when I started my business, I had been unemployed for 7 years and didn't even get proper sickness benefit because of a stamp problem. And I know that at the end of the day, you're running a business, you have to invest. You have to invest in your clients. You have to invest in your marketing. And what you bring in, you need to invest again in future clients. That's how business works. And the easiest way I can explain it, if you go and buy a product, or say for example a product out of a shop, even something like a suite, a mouth bath, okay, you'd probably be quite shocked at how much is actually went on, not just making the product, there's probably more in the marketing of it and the selling of it. And you know, the logo, the colour, the way it's sitting on the shelf, is probably more went into that than what it does cost to make it. It's sad, but it's part of the way that the media works now. So at the end of the day, you have to reach enough of your audience, and you have to market your business if you want to stand out, particularly in the early stages of your business. And I get so many therapists and coaches who come to me really struggling, but they are not investing, and they don't know why they're not getting enough clients. They think because they're doing something with purpose and they know that they're here to do, they think the clients will just come running through the doors, and that rarely happens. At the end of the day, you are running a business, so you have to just do like what other businesses do. You have to get out there and be visible, and you know, be out to enough clients. So you have to advertise, connect, and constantly build up a relationship of trust with enough of your potential audience. Okay, now I'm going to explain in statistics just to let you understand, right? Average conversion in the holistic industry is actually really low, a lot lower than other industries. Okay, and a lot of businesses will talk about the 3% conversion or 2 to 3% conversion. Statistics in a market that's quite saturated, okay, where there are lots of more people in this industry, means that your conversion rate can be a lot lower. Okay, so an average used to be 1 to 3%, but in many ways it's a lot lower now. So basically, your average conversion in the holistic industry is lower than 1%. So let's say, for example, if it was 1% you were able to achieve, okay, you get your marketing all right, you get your message clear. To attract 10 new clients, many people need to advertise to approximately 1,000 new potential audience, right? If you're lucky and fortunate and your message is really clear and your vibration and your resonance is really laser focused, yeah, you might attract a lot more. But many businesses have to go into this level of, that's how many people they have to get their advertising in front of, so that they can get it turns into conversion. Okay, and also again, a lot of people ask me about percentage, and I was done a webinar several weeks ago, and what they were confirming was now it's 20% in a lot of the holistic coaching and therapy industry. So if you, for example, want to bring in £400, okay, you may have to invest about £80 in marketing to get that in. Okay, particularly when you're starting out. If you know, people don't know about you, you've not got repeat business yet, you've not got referrals. So it's one of those things that people have to sit and think about, okay? And at the end of the day, you are running a business. So business, you have to make money, you need to invest money. That's how business works. But I see so many coaches, healers and therapists, because they feel they're being of service, they find that really hard. And they don't realise that most businesses have the same problem. It's just not in this industry, even though there is a saturation, that there has to be an investment so that you can reach. Okay, that's how it works. So I'm just going to recap. So I talked about your uniqueness, your individuality, knowing your ideal clients and your soul clients, knowing your ideal clients' biggest challenges, know where your ideal client hangs out, know your unique solution, know and own your unique message. And you have to build up connection with enough of those ideal clients. And as I said to some of you at the beginning, this webinar might click off early just because some people want to come on early. But I'm just going to, what I want you to do while I'm explaining this, I want you all to put a number in between 1 and 10, okay? Because I'm going to pick out a winner that's going to win a £400 package. I'm just going to explain that at the moment. If you can see the little, what do you call it, chat box, okay? And I'll check that at the end. But what I'm going to do is I'm giving an offer tonight. The offer is including what I'm giving one winner who has participated tonight, okay? Now, some of you know I'm launching the Spiritual Marketing Club. I've been working on it really the last 2 years, a lot of the work for it. But basically what it is, it's a platform that is got lots of courses that are all related to marketing, so that it teaches coaches, healers and therapists all the elements of marketing, from how to use your Facebook effectively, how to work out who your ideal clients, your biggest challenges, where your ideal clients hang out, so many things, and all the elements, how to get your branding right, your marketing right. And what I have done is different. I'm doing different levels, and the basic level is the bronze membership, and that is, someone's going to win that tonight. So it's over £400 worth of resources, but it's selling at the moment for 150, and it will begin up in August. It's just because the formal launch is the 1st of August. But tonight, if any of you want to access that, it's going to be the last time I offer it at this price. I'm offering it at £120. And there's going to be a lot of bonuses added over the year and over the next few months. But what I'm going to tell you, I'm going to explain that all the things that we talked about, your uniqueness, your ideal client, all the things that I said that you needed to know are all included in different elements of courses within the spiritual marketing package, okay? And basically, there's a free course, what is a soul client, that's included in it, how to identify and attract soul clients, how to create products and services clients want, 21-step magical marketing course, and I don't know why, but I forgot to put the Facebook course in, and I need to check that, because it might mean that the level of the price, I think that might mean that it's nearly up to £500 worth of marketing, but it is included. The Facebook course is included in as well, and I'm throwing in a one-to-one mentoring session. And the reason why I'm doing that is, some of you know I had a spiritual marketing club before. It got really big. It was over 250 people at one point, but it was just a mash of people. And I want to work with people and really know the people that are in my group and work with people on a personal level. So that is why I'm offering this at the moment. So for a full year, you get access to the membership, which is a platform with all the courses, plus you get access to my Facebook, my exclusive group, my Spiritual Marketing Club group, which will have weekly or at least monthly live sessions and the question and answers sessions on a weekly basis. So that's all included. If any of you are wanting that, I'm going to send you an email out with a code, a coupon code, and a link, and the offer's on till tonight for £120. So you're getting well over £400, and a lot of coaches that I work with would tell you that most of what I do is actually 3 times worth. I do undercharge, and it's something I'm working on, but I like to make sure that people can afford, because I know how hard it can be at times, okay? So what I'm going to do is, this is the coupon code and all that, but what I want to do is, I'm actually want to, just in case this clicks off, I just want to go through, check your I'm just going to check all your chat to see. So Gillian, you've won, and because the number, I can't show you but because I've not got my camera, but I picked a number earlier on, okay, and I picked 7. So Gillian, it's 1, okay. So you've got access to, and I know you're actually already in the Spiritual Marketing Club, so you'll get there's a gold membership and silver membership coming, so you'll get that if you're quite happy with that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just pop over and I'm going to show you this and see. I hope you can still see this in my screen share. Can someone just check that? It's shown on the page, the Spiritual Marketing Club, the bronze. I can just, so if somebody can just tell me. Now, I'm sorry if this clicks off, but I'm going to send you all out information about this, okay? And if there's anyone who you know that we could benefit from this, please let them know. But basically, the Bronze Spiritual Marketing Club, just in case you don't see it, I'm going to quickly explain all the courses that's in it. And so you know, these modules, Gillian will explain it, and Hazel's done some of them. These courses are not just, there's lots of modules within the courses, even the Facebook course. There's a lot to it, and it's all about your branding, your marketing, how you using the header, the header, and there's certain elements about how you're designing, how you're showing up, how you actually post. I've included a lot, and the more that I do upgrades and I add things, I add them to the courses. So any upgrades you automatically get, access to. And the reason I'm offering it at such a good price is because I do want to genuinely help people. I realise that most coaches, healers and therapists are still struggling with the element that they don't realise what they have to invest in the market. And a lot of them are losing £100, hundreds and hundreds of pounds worth of clients in a month, never mind a year. They're losing out because of their marketing. So until the 30th of July, there's the bronze membership is going at £150, which is technically over £445 worth of marketing, plus all the live question and answer sessions and a mentoring session with myself, which is valid for 3 months. But tonight only, I'm offering £120 for the year, okay? And if any of you really want to do it but feel as if the 120 at the moment, please speak to me and we can maybe see if we can do some sort of plan. But obviously, you won't be able to get access to everything right away if you're doing the pay-up plan. But